What's up, roofing contractors? Patrick Carr here, My Claims Care. Welcome to the Roofer's Den again. Couldn't be happier to have my guest here with me. I got Richie with the Restoration Association of Florida. I get all the questions from you guys about what is going on with legislation. Here are your answers. You guys have been demanding it for the last couple of months. We're here to talk with Richie. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, man? Hey, thanks for having me. Richie Kidwell, president of the Restoration Association of Florida. So we're a nonprofit association that are here for the independent contractors in the state of Florida. Became an activist in 2014 when the AOB was under attack. Assignment of benefits were the reason after sinkhole was the first reason when premiums, of course, the insurance companies are saying, well, premiums are going skyrocketing this year, and it's because of sinkhole. That was 2013.
I vividly remember it.
Remember that? Yeah.
I was talking with the Villages president over in the Villages. I was talking with the president of that association, that HOA. And when I told him about what was going on here, the first thing he says to me, he goes, is this another one of those sinkhole things that's going on?
It's crazy.
Okay, so where does it continue from there?
And so 2013, sinkhole, they made a law change and they said, okay, well then the next year, the boogeyman or the reason why insurance rates were going up, they're saying is, well, now it's because of the assignees. It's the assignment of benefits. I just came new to the game. The law changed for mold. I'm a mold assessor by trade.
Okay.
So I own Air Quality Assessors. We're a mold assessment company in the state of Florida. We're also a licensed engineering firm. And I'll get into the reason why I'm a licensed engineering firm because of insurance related claims. I'll get into that later. But I started that after 2012 when the law changed. It said you must be a licensed mold assessor and a separate licensed mold remediator with mold over 10 square feet. It's now regulated in Florida. Mm-hmm. So we became, very busy, but not everybody can afford to do it. So I started giving options. I was like, well, here's an assignment of benefits. You can either pay now, you can do a service authorization, or you can sign an assignment of benefits where we don't take any money from you. We bill directly to the insurance company.
Yep.
So 100% of the people, when they have those options, they sign the assignment of benefits. So I love giving the homeowner the option of being able to bill directly to their insurance company. It's not their fault. When they have mold in their home, they call the big green guys that come out and go take care of it, right?
Yep.
But then they come in there and say, well, you have to have a protocol done. So they're not expecting that extra cost. So the AOB for me has been something that's just a saver for homeowners. It's like when you go to your doctor's office, you're paying all this money every month, your health insurance. You're not expecting a huge bill. You're expecting to pay your copayment or whatever you're expected to pay when you get there.
Absolutely.
All the service is done and you move on with your life. And that's what property should be as well. You're taking an assignment, you're doing all the work now, and you bill directly to the insurance company. It's a consumer protection tool. Even one of our members now, fast forward to 2017, when we was really being attacked in the legislation, One of my members is named Walter out of South Florida. He came to me, he showed me an order that I got from Governor's Crist after 2005, all those hurricanes. 2007, he got an order that says you must use an AOB on every job. Stop leaning all of my homeowners in Florida.
Yep.
And so, because what other recourse do you have? If you don't use an AOB and you don't get paid by the insurance company, what do?
You got to lien the person.
You got to fucking lien the homeowner.
You got to protect yourself in Florida.
That is not consumer protection.
Yep.
And it shows because the governor ordered them and says you must use an assignment of benefits. Go after the insurance company. They're the ones that owe you. Yep. Right? And so in 2014, we started getting attacked. I started to use that assignment tool, really starting to see, there was people that were just so happy that they don't have that much money. So they were able to work with a dry out company on an assignment of benefits, a testing company on an assignment of benefits, a build back company on an assignment of benefits, a roofing company on an AOB, and everybody's doing their trade. Everybody works in harmony and gets the person put back to square one, even sometimes before the first check is cut. Mm-hmm. That's how you do it. And look at Hurricane Michael. People, Hurricane Michael are still up in Tallahassee now saying that they're still not put back whole.
100%.
Still. So we have, I think last year, the count was 22,000 people in the Panhandle still not taken care of. Open claims last year in the legislation when they were talking about it. 22,000 people still had open claims last year.
So two things I think about when I think of AOB. Yeah, it is crazy. Because there's two things I think about from the AOB perspective. One, the laws are different depending on your state, but in the state of Florida, you've got 90 days from the date of completion to file that lien. So if you're not getting that insurance proceeds, then you've got no other recourse but to file that lien. Yeah. And then if you don't get it within a couple of months, what are you going to do? Foreclose on the individual? Right. So now you got foreclosures going on against a person who's now going to incur hard court costs and attorney fees on behalf of the contractor only because they don't have an AOB. So my question leading off of that is, where did it go wrong then, Richie? Because the story we were all pitched in 2017 was if we just get rid of AOBs, then premiums are going to stop going up, and we'll leave you guys alone. Yep. That hasn't happened. We're going to jump into what's going on now. But what went wrong with it?
So when I got into it in 2014, I was the only one up there really that was trying to put an end to AOB at that point in time. I mean, there was Harvey Cohen, and let me just say he's been great in this industry.
Yeah. Shout out to Harvey Cohen Law.
Yeah, and Harvey was big in it then, and he said, "Listen, guys, like we have to do something." He formed an organization. We were up there as much as we could to say, "Hey, listen, we need to stop this." And we were playing defense at that point in time, and we were successful. My part of it was to bring up the contractors. Hence the start of the very next year of the Restoration Association of Florida. We were known about being a contractor-owned based or contractor-based organization that could bring up the numbers, and we did several times. We came up with hundreds of contractors. We all put on shirts. AOBs protect homeowners. We had speeches right there in front of the Senate with all of those yellow shirts on. Senator Farmer has been a champion for us. He's now the Senate minority leader. He's the head of all the Democrats in the state of Florida, and he's been a champion for us, filing even late filed amendments in Senate Bill 76 today. But back then in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, we're continuing to fight, and we were able to stop all that. But now in 2019, as you remember or know, is when the AOB reform came out. So anything signed after July 1st, 2019, the law change made it to where if you sign an AOB, there's just some hoops that you have to do. The AOB has never been dead, just so you know, and it's going to come back.
I agree with you.
And I've got some things that I'm going to share after session ends, and then that I think people will really like the idea of going back to AOB, and I'll be able to tell you why. But ever since July 1st of 2019, every month as president of the Restoration Association of Florida, I go around and I teach people how to use the AOB in today's world. Here's a contract vetted by our 40 attorneys in our legal committee.
That's awesome.
So when you're a member of REF, you get access to these guys, to access to all of our legal committees, to myself, our board members, to come to your place of business. Make sure that you're using it right. We've got a new member that just joined. He's using this assignment of benefits. We're showing him how to do it. Homeowners are loving it because they're not having to front all this money. And we're not going to bill them. It even says in the new assignment law, you cannot go after the homeowner. You can't lien them. You can't turn them over to a creditor. You must go after the insurance company. And that's great because think about it. Everybody has a friend that's a public adjuster or an attorney. What's stopping somebody from taking a valid AOB on a big claim and then signing that over, getting an LOR signed on your AOB? You bring in your adjuster. You don't need the homeowner. You take the claim from the beginning, turn it in within 3 days with whatever emergency service invoice you did. And then anything is supplemental. You must hit the insured and the insurer at the same time for any supplementals. That's the AOB law. That's really it. They have 14 days to cancel, but you stay best friends with your homeowner for more than that, obviously. We tell them up front, it's going to be 6 months. It's going to be a year before we get that final payment maybe. But you get all this emergency service done. I'm going to front all that stuff. And so there are that's such a great consumer piece, and that's why I've been fighting for the AOB. Now, what we have now after this reform, 2019, the boogeyman switched just for a small second to reinsurance last year. They said, well, reinsurance is the reason why premiums are so high, right? And then this year they said, well, maybe it's not reinsurance, maybe it's roofers and attorneys because they needed that boogeyman again. The reinsurance people, the mortgage folks of the world, they didn't like that, obviously. They're like, it's not our fault.
Yes.
It's your poor claims management processes. That's what it is.
So we go from, really what we've done is we've gone from a world where it was the AOB is the problem, then it's reinsurance, and now, like you said, it's the attorneys, contractors, quote, fraud, and that is the problem.
Well, let's say this.
They're pitching out there right now. It's roofing con. Let's just say what it is.
Yeah, let's look at all the language right now that's coming out. All solicitation stuff literally says fucking roof in there. It doesn't say fuck, but it says roof. It says in there, it's like you can't say the words insurance, damage, or roof all in one sentence or one advertisement, or it's a $10,000 fine and a third-degree misdemeanor under this new legislation that they're proposing right now.
Let's jump into that one then first, okay? Because that's going to be something that I believe is probably going to pass. Judging by what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing from you.
Unfortunately.
So can you talk to, where is this coming from? The no solicitation bill, as I'm calling it. What is that going to mean to roofing contractors going door to door?
All right. Yeah, that's a good question. They're advertising pieces, the things that they leave behind.
Yes.
The flyers, the emails, the promises of reduction or waiving deductibles. that kind of thing, and if you're getting as fired up, if you're listening to this podcast right now and you're getting as fired up as I am right now when you're hearing that, and you're like, the motherfucking insurance company does that, they fucking call my insured and say, hey, use my preferred pretender and I'll waive your fucking deductible.
Yep.
So if you guys hear that, if anybody's hearing that, send it to us, send it to you, Patrick, and send it to me, and we'll get it to our teams up to the legislation, because they're not hearing that. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. It's what they're saying up in Tallahassee. So what I'm saying is, if you're saying we can't waive the deductible, well, neither should you.
Absolutely.
And to steer those folks out. So we're working on some language like that. But right now, you've heard about Senate Bill 76.
Of course.
That's the roof surface language that turns an RCV into an ACV schedule with a roof over 10 years old. Now, we've seen it go all the way through. It's being voted on right now, today, on the floor in the Senate. There's no public testimony allowed. They're voting on it. We submitted a bunch of late filed amendments last night, as a matter of fact.
Folks, it is Wednesday the 7th right now, just so you got an idea. This will probably be out by Friday, but it's Wednesday the 7th. Continue, Richie.
Right. Okay. So we'll know by the end of this week. So 76 is going to make it all the way through, meaning it goes through the Senate. Doesn't mean it goes a law. So 76 must have a House companion.
Yes.
The House companion is House Bill 305. Now, if you look at 305 now, just yesterday or on Tuesday, we went to the second committee in the House. It has to go through 3 committees in the House and then to the floor. Well, there was that specific bill. We changed it so much with basically the strength of our lobbying teams that we were able to hire on, with new members, new roofing members now tapping on the shoulder and say, hey, listen, we need help. How can we do this? And so we had to hire on the 2 top lobbying firms in Tallahassee, right, which are doing, I call them the magicians. And we give them some work to do, and they're able to make it. So House Bill 305, check it out. There's nothing in there about roof surface language in there. The Speaker of the House does not like that, right? So he's going to push the language that we're looking at. So what he told us, he says, or we're finding out, he said his high priority this year is now coming down from the governor, solicitation. They're going solicitation after roofers.
Yep.
So what 305 says, it doesn't have any of that roof surface ACV language in there.
Okay.
Right? So it's actually not a bad bill, with the exception of the overreaching and generalization of roof. So let's get into the solicitation part, what it says.
Sure.
It says any pamphlets, any emails, anything that shows that you're trying to entice or pay somebody to induce a client to initiate a claim. So meaning you can't give gift cards.
Yep.
To somebody. I know Ricky, one of our members, and there's nothing wrong with this about giving a gift card. Hey, let me get on your roof. If your damage turns into a claim, I'll give you a $500 gift card. That's my cost of money. That's as a business owner, if I want to pop out $500, you know how much I pay for a fucking Google lead?
Yep.
For shit's sake? I mean, that's fucking gangster right there, how much Google and Home Advisor and those motherfuckers take for a lead. So what if that turns into, so what my thought is, are we suing Google? Are we suing Home Advisor if they send us a lead and it turns into an insurance claim?
Yes.
So that's where I think it's a slippery slope. That's where I think it's fucked up.
So let me ask you a question, though. I mean, obviously the gift card is one thing. Okay, listen, you walk up to the door, they're giving them a gift card. They understand the deductible is $500. Here's a $500 gift card. Let me get up on the roof and me do what I need to do. No obligation from you, Mr. Miss Homeowner, but they're just doing that's the way they're doing things.
Right.
The other side, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong here, Richie, but it looks as though your pamphlets, your materials that you send out there to a homeowner, you couldn't say roof for free, and you cannot say guaranteed replacement. You can't guarantee it's going to be approved, and you can't say it's going to be for free. Is that correct?
That's right. And don't say anything about no deductible.
Right.
Up in Tallahassee right now, they kept sending me these things. They said, listen, this is what we're finding, and it's a pamphlet, and it says had the name of the company, and it says no deductible on the bottom, and it says free roof. So those are big targeted things that you just don't put in a pamphlet.
Stop.
Yeah, absolutely stop. And I think this is the reason why, or part of it, right? Now, do they do it? Absolutely they do it, and so, but that's not what's being on fire right now. What's on fire is those roofing folks suggesting or making a guarantee. It says, hey, even though hail came through the entire neighborhood and every roof should be bought, but they'll come and they'll guarantee you a free roof. They say, listen, I'll get you a free roof. And it's interesting because we have like one of the aides of the Senate members up there, and they said, even my aide, somebody knocked on their door, like she was like this, poor old lady or something, knocked on their door, said, I'm going to get you a free roof. And by damn, they got her a free roof. I'm like, wait a minute. Let's take a step back. So you're saying somebody knocked on the door and said that your neighborhood's been pelted with high wind and hail, and that we got the neighbors done under their insurance, and she went ahead and signed up with them, and she went ahead and went through the process, paid her deductible, and got a roof put on.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but it didn't need it. But she went forward and got the roof on her house. She got a new roof on her house. Yes. I'm like, this is the shit. I'm like, literally, my mind is fucking blown right now. And I'm like, they're trying to twist it as a bad thing, right? Now, the approach was the bad thing. That's what they're trying to get at. They go, okay, at the end of the day, that wasn't the bad thing because she did need a free roof. Fine. She doesn't get on a roof. She didn't know there was no yellow stain. Didn't have any idea until a contractor finally came out. So look at all the, missing crease, torn. Look at all this stuff on your roof. All this indirect hail damage. Blah blah blah. So the point is it was the approach.
Yes.
So that's what they're talking about. So what the contractors that are listening and watching now. Get rid of all those flyers. Get rid of those advertisements. Starting July 1st, when this goes through, it's effective. Don't have any of those things out. Don't have on your business card. Talk to us about deductible. Nothing about waiving deductible. What you can say is this. We'll hold the deductible till the end. Why not do that? That's great. Now you can say, here's the things you can say. You have roof damage. I'm the best fucking contractor around. Use me, and I work with all insurance companies.
Yes.
And you can say deductible paid at the end. Boom. You're saying the same shit. You're saying, hey, I'm not going to take any money from you up front. I'm gonna be your man to do this to evaluate the damage. Meet with your adjuster, come out and show him the damage that I'm seeing. Now, under this new law, you're able to do that. It says it has an exclusion in there on 49 statutes, which is our building contractor statute. So if you're a building contractor, residential, let's say BC, RC, GC, roofing contractor, everything is under 49 statutes. So what they're saying in there is that a contractor can still speak to the insurance company on scope.
Got it.
Same thing. Stay within your scope. If you're a roofer, stick to roofs. Don't try to get them ALE. Don't try to get them anything extra. Stick to it.
Here's where I think some of the disconnect is between Tallahassee and the roofing contractors is that they don't understand that there is damage on a roof that you cannot see from the street until you get up there. I was talking with a contractor, Armor All Roofing in Tampa yesterday, and I was saying these older shingles, as they get older, they're more flexible. The wind can get underneath and lift that roof.
Yep.
Sometimes you're not going to be able to see that, and a homeowner's not, based on just being on the ground. Now, the argument that I don't like, and I have, that I've heard from some individuals who are fighting or proponents of this law, is they say, well, you should be maintaining your roof if you're a homeowner. What does maintenance of my roof look like?
Right.
Do I get up there with a hose and I hose it down?
Right.
What does a homeowner do?
Well, that would be foot traffic then, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah. So, now I get on a tile roof and I crack some roofs and it's my fault.
Right.
So I think the argument is flawed. And I think that what these senators in Tallahassee who are proponents of this are missing is that there is damage that you cannot see and you need a professional to get up there to risk assess what's going on. So the question I have for you, though, is they have increased the penalty, though, for contractors who elect to go ahead and send those pamphlets you're telling them to get rid of, right?
Yes.
Hasn't that, and the penalties increased, right?
Yes. Now they're looking at, for the first offense, still $10,000 fine and a third-degree felony.
Third-degree felony, folks.
Per occurrence. Now it's a sliding scale, though, because now, and I'm talking, and now what they say is it's a contract value of up to $1,000. It's this type of offense up to over $10,000 in a contract, which most roofs are going to be over $10,000, is the third-degree felony, $10,000 fine per occurrence.
Whew.
That's insane, right?
I don't want to be that person who figures that out. So let's jump into some of the things that SB 76 obviously started as one hell of a terrible law or legislation.
Right.
So to give you guys an idea of how this would look following a hurricane in Florida, if this did become law with that roof schedule, correct me if I'm wrong, Richie, but what it would look like is somebody would go ahead and have their roof blown off. Yep. Let's just say it was a 15-year-old roof. Yep. And they would expect, just like they normally would now, for the roof to be replaced.
Right.
However, their adjuster would come out there and say, yep, your roof needs to be replaced, but I'm not going to pay you the replacement cost value. I'm going to pay you a portion of that, maybe 30%, 40% of the value of that roof. And the homeowner would be the one who would be stuck with the bill. Is that correct?
That's correct. And ACV is actual cost value. That's usually you have to expense that first to get reimbursed.
So let me get it so people listen. Homeowners who are listening to this, my friends, roofing contractors, this is such a key point. you would have to pay it first to even get reimbursed for that ACV. So not only you're having to come out of pocket the difference, which could be thousands upon thousands of dollars, not only would you have to pay your hurricane deductible on top of that, but then you've got to pay them. You've got to come up with $5,000 or $6,000 more out of your pocket. In that, you'll be reimbursed for it, but you've got to come up with it in the first place to be reimbursed. You're putting the burden on the homeowner themselves.
And then if it stalls, they have to hire a PA or an attorney, which takes out,
which leads me to the next point, which is shit.
How are you going to afford it?
How are you going to afford the attorney when they've made the law changes that they're suggesting with the attorney fees? So can you jump into that right now?
I mean, especially because now they have all this demand process now, and all this stuff is into the bill now. Now even on 305, it's a little bit less, but in House or Senate Bill 76, the way it's written, it would make it to where you would have to do a 60-day demand letter after 90 days. So you're a homeowner, you have to front the bill, and then this is fucked up. I mean,
this is so messed up.
You front the bill, and then you have to wait the 90 days, and they say, okay, well, finally we're not gonna reimburse you
because they're gonna wait until that 89th day to give you a decision from your insurance company.
Absolutely, they will.
Then you get a decision, and now what happens?
All right, and then you're like, okay, fuck it, I have to get an attorney involved now. You're like, all right, fine. So you go get your attorney. Your attorney says, okay, well, the new law says that first party and assignees, everybody has to give me a 60-day notice of intent to litigate. So you give them a 60-day notice. Now, on day 59, the new law says that they would have to allow for an extra 30 days to inspect the property because the insurance company needs more time. So let's follow me. 90 days, 60 days, another 30 days before you can even file suit. Now, the insurance company has time at any time to either invoke appraisal or mediation.
They have the right to invoke mediation at any time that they want, so we can just stop this thing and go and
on day 189 they can say, fuck it, we want to go to mediation.
Oh my God!
And then you have to set up a mediation through DFS.
Well, now that's more time. We're in more time. In the meantime, the homeowner who filed a good, valid claim is the one who is suffering. It's not the contractor wants to put on the roof and be paid for it, but really the one who is suffering there is the homeowner who may have damage to the roof, who's got a temporary solution of a tarp on top of there after a cat storm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, TARP guys, if you're listening right now, I mean, what a great fucking opportunity for you guys. I mean, and I'm not joking. I mean, you go from blue TARP and you wait, let them get their inspections done, and then can fucking white wrap that thing. You're done, and do it all on AOB.
I got a client of mine, Roof Wrap, who I think is going to do.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They're great guys.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to do really well with this right here.
Absolutely.
So can we talk about the attorney fees though? That's a big thing because one of the important things for a homeowner with policy is that they have the opportunity to go fight their insurance if it's denied wrongfully.
Yeah.
You've got to have that in place, or what happens is the insurance companies run wild.
Right.
Because they know that, okay, if I deny a claim, my insured doesn't have the money to front attorney fees to go after me.
That's
so
right.
you've got to have a
recourse. And there's no liability, right? Like, if somebody files suit and their attorney doesn't get him any money, or if it ends up being a bad claim, everybody just walks away and is like, all right, whatever. Now, under this new law, they have to. You're going to pin yourself against your attorney. The attorney says, okay, I'm going to take your case on, and the law hasn't been into effect, but Senate Bill 76 is set up to where it says if it does go into effect, then you have to get between 20% and 80% at a minimum of what your settlement demand is from the attorney before you file suit, before the 60 days, before the 30 days.
And then whatever comes after that, we already thought, more time.
Yeah. And so they put in that the settlement demand offer, and then the insurance company ended up settling. And let's say you don't get that 20% mark. Well, the homeowner now has exposure. The homeowner now has to pay their attorney's fees for the insurance adjuster, or for the insurance company, and their own attorney's fees.
Yep.
They have to pay both by statute. So now you're exposing a homeowner to possible fees or a judgment on it. Already they haven't already gotten paid. So one little technicality, one little thing that the policy says that's something that they didn't do, whatever, or just whatever. Any of the nuances on a technical could fuck the whole case, could put the homeowner in a spot where they have to pay.
So I want homeowners to understand this, and roofing contractors understand what makes it very attractive for attorneys to take these cases and what makes it the right way. Okay, so when a claim is wrongfully denied, and an attorney takes that claim on, they are able to add their fees above and beyond the principal balance.
Right.
That means that the homeowner does not have to pay for the attorney to take their case.
That's right.
There are two positives to this. One, it allows the homeowner to have recourse from the wrongfully denied without having to come out of pocket for attorney fees or retainers. But number two, what it does is it forces a hand for the insurance company to actually do something, because attorney fees are going up and they have to stop it. It puts a time clock on the insurance companies.
That's
and
right.
If anyone out there believes that without that time clock, insurance companies are just going to do the right thing, you are absolutely crazy. They are going to hold on to that case as long as they can to not pay out on it. They're already showing you they're going to go ahead and deny. They're going to go ahead and delay as long as they can.
That's right.
And then they're just going to go ahead and push it to the side because they know, hey, listen, there's no penalty for me to go ahead and do so. In the meantime, you as a homeowner are looking at that going, oh, shit, I've got a longer case going here, which means attorney fees are going up. If I don't get what I want as a homeowner, I could be stuck with a portion of that right now.
That's right.
You know what, Mr. Attorney? I'm done. Back me off from this thing because I don't want any part of this. I'm just going to end it right now. And the insurance company walks away going, okay, great, denied claim. Now what you have, and I hope that people are listening to this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Richie, is now that insured is not going to make the necessary changes to their roof, the necessary improvements, the repairs, whatever it might be.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's going to leave that roof exposed. It's going to leave that family exposed, and then they're up to be dropped by their insurance company because they didn't make the necessary repairs.
Yeah, it's crazy, and
this is a revolving door that's going to happen.
Oh yeah, I mean, right now in the current law, it's better than that than what 76 would be right now. And Mr. Bisbee came yesterday, and he's been there. He was there for the Senate Bill 76. He's a homeowner. He's an older gentleman.
I met that gentleman last time.
Over 2.5 years, he still hasn't gotten paid by State Farm. They can fucking hire Drake and put commercials all over the fucking Super Bowl, but they can't pay Mr. Bisbee. So his wife died in the meantime. It's been 2.5 years. His wife died. He feels like it's because of all the mycotoxins, all the mold and shit like that in his house. He moved out. He says, I haven't been to my house in over a year. And he goes, have you ever seen a building? Have you ever left a building for that long of time and coming back? He goes, you should see it. My house is so much worse now. The $50,000 worth of damage that you could have fixed 2.5 years ago is now over $200,000 worth of damage because it's just sitting there. And you think about it. He's like, have you ever left a building for a year and come back? What do you think's going to fucking happen?
It's going to look absolutely terrible.
I mean, poor guy. I mean, and they, one of the House members yesterday, she says, forgive me, I'm a freshman here. And if this is, she was just beside herself. She goes, this does nothing for consumers. This does nothing from homeowners, and why people are just giving this cold-hearted vote just to push it through for, she said it in front of the committee. And I was right on with her. She was thanking me in the elevator later. She was like, hey, thank you for saying everything you did, because I'm still beside myself. Like, these guys are just heartless, cold votes fucking through with no real ramification of their constituents that voted for them to do right for them. Yeah. And so it's all bullshit. Now here's the challenge for us, right? This is what they say about and I keep getting this comment every year. It's like, hey, you guys are great on the defense. Where the fuck are you guys all year round? Because the insurance companies, they're there all year around putting bugs in our ears. This shit was decided already last August. Where were you then? I was like, well, A, the fucking Rona. I said, but B, I said, this is different right now, because now we really need to be on this. And we got these lobbyists for a whole year. On the off season, we're going to have to be there to all the areas, the committees. Now we know where all the committees where our bills are going to go through in the House and the Senate. In the off season, we need to go meet with these guys. We need to talk with them. We need to fundraise for them, and we need to get these Republicans. I vote, and I'm a Republican, but I knock
registered here too.
Same. But they are not good for us. The insurance companies have the fucking Republicans in their pocket. Yep. So we talk to the Democrats. We know they had the votes. Yesterday, the vote was 11-7. Guess what the fucking count was? Republicans and Democrats.
11-7.
Oh, there you go. Great
hey, what do you know?
What do you know? And even the Republicans had tough questions. They're like, I don't like this bill the way it is right now, but I believe that you're going to change it and blah, blah, blah. I believe. And I'm just like, I don't get how they're in good faith and able to sleep at night pushing this shit through.
I couldn't agree with you more. And here's what I think is that there are already laws in place to deal with the fraud that they say they have a problem with.
Right.
If you believe that cases are fraudulently being submitted to the court system of Florida, then deal with the fraud that we have on hand.
Right.
We don't have to penalize Florida homeowners, put the burden on their backs after a cat storm that inevitably is going to hit the state. when there already is laws in place that we can deal with the fraud.
Yeah.
Let's focus on those laws. People ask me, they say, well, what solutions would you come up with, Patrick, if this isn't the solution? Well, then you know what? I'd increase the fraud. I'd say, okay, listen, let's deal with the fraud itself. If I want people to slow down from 70 to 50 miles an hour, I don't just say, well, let me just do that. I would maybe increase the penalty for speeding. I would lower the speed limit. There are direct things that you can do to address fraud without penalizing homeowners and good contractors.
That's right.
That's what I believe.
Yeah, I mean, and let me give you some statistics in Florida, right? I mean, insurance companies are not hurting, and they're not trying to avoid entering and writing policies in Florida. That's just false. Yesterday, in 2 seconds, I went on Google and I pulled up. There's over 900 insurance companies registered in Florida. It's insane. I thought there was closer to 300, but there's closer to there's that many insurance companies. I mean, the first 3 pages, 30 each insurance companies. First couple of pages are A's. I mean, think about it. I mean, just think about the A's that I mean, Attic and AAA, and there's so many. Yeah, I mean, it's Allstate. You know what I mean? Yeah. Before you even get out of the A's, you're like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. And then there's B's, bankers, and there's all these, you're like, motherfuck, there are a lot of insurance companies in the state of Florida. Absolutely, there's not a shortage of them. And now in Florida, most insurance companies pay out only 50 to 60% of what they pull in on premiums actually out to claims. They hold on to them and they make their money by investing, and they make money off of policyholders' backs. Outside of Florida, have you ever had to sue? And you can, anybody that's listening, have you ever had to sue like Farm Bureau or any of those guys? Because they're out of state.
They're paying it.
Yeah, they just pay the fucking bills. Yes. Yeah, you know why? Because their normal is 80 to 90% of the premiums they bring in, they pay out to claims. They pay their claims outside of Florida, and so what they do is now Florida companies then get greedy, and they're like, well, shit. And most of these CEOs are making. I mean, you can Google it. You'll see the top 10 CEOs. I sent all these to the legislators last night because they're going to be voting on the floor today. I'm going to say, hey, look at the top 10 insurance companies. The least. I think the least CEO is making a minimum base of like $3 million a year, and then they trade their own stocks and stock options and stuff. And so, Universal, Sean, I really like him over at Universal. Nothing wrong against them. I mean, I need to own a fucking insurance company in the state of Florida because it's not anything wrong. They're playing the game and they're doing a really good fucking job of it. Now, where it's wrong is when the legislation says that they're saying they're hurting. But when you go and you look at Universal, $43.3 million last year.
Their profits.
And again, there's nothing wrong. I'm not complaining about that. You do you, bro. Fucking make the money. Cool. But don't go to legislation and say, oh, we're hurting. I need all this fucking increases, because that's bullshit. You don't. I mean,
Rich, what a lot of people don't realize is insurance companies were not designed originally to make profits like they're making right now.
No.
So originally, insurance companies should take the money in which they have. They should pay out their premiums. They should make their money on investment that they make on the back end. What's happening in Florida right now is that they're taking those premiums in. They're making money on the premiums and the money that they're investing. They're double dipping into the profits that they're able to make, and that's why you see Universal, property. They're making money. They're making profits. The story that they are putting out there right now is absolute bullshit. Yeah. They are making money, and that's what they're sharing with their shareholders. Their shareholders are making money, but on the back end, they're saying, let me hedge my bet over here and make sure that what they tried to do with that fee schedule with the original SB 76, hopefully, 305 got rid of it, but they're saying, okay, I just got to pay out less.
Yeah.
If you believe that they are going to lower your premiums, if this law passes, you are a fool. There is zero way in the world that this law passes and insurance companies go, well, finally, guys, we did it. Woo! Now your premiums can go down. Okay, we're safe now and we feel good. They're going to keep them the same, or they're going to incrementally increase them as they always have. Yep. And the homeowner is going to be the one who loses, in my opinion. And thank God we got people like Raph, like you, who are going up there to fight this kind of stuff, because I get roofing contractors all the time say, what can I do? So what can they do, Richie? How do they get involved to help you and to help Raph?
Good. I mean, be a part of the organization is one. We have hundreds of members all across the state of Florida. And again, you have access to our legal committee. You have access to us. You can be a part. You can speak in front of the legislature. We have awesome lobbying teams that can register you and put in. We have one more House committee meeting we can testify in. Great. The biggest thing we need to do, though, is raise money. It costs money to do everything that we do. We're back to now putting on events every month, educational pieces. We got one next Thursday in Pensacola. We'll be back in South Florida a few weeks after that. We're going to go all across the state of Florida to talk about what's going on. But our website, raflorida.org. We are a full tax write-off, 501(c) or 50C, whatever the fuck. We are 501c6. Actually, the 3 is a if you're not given to political parties. So we do. So we're a C6. So we're full deductible for your business. So when you put in, use your business card, but go to raflorida.org, hit the donate now button. We're still trying to raise some more money to finish off paying the lobbyist that we had to hire on. So you get that, and you can also join. Go to the website, raflorida.org. You can join. That's how you can help and be a part of it.
Because you guys are the ones who are really swinging the bat out there, in my opinion. You're actually there. For anyone who's listening, this is not a guy who just talks to talk. You're up there testifying. You're in front of these people. You're telling them the exact same things you're telling me right now. It's not fake bullshit. You really are out there fighting for the contractors.
Absolutely.
And you know what? We have a lot of organizations in Florida where you can give your money to. They'll tell you that, hey, we look out for the contractor. But there are rarely organizations like yours, and what you're doing is you're the president right now. And you're out there putting your face and your name to it each and every day, and that's not easy, man.
No,
because you get a lot of heat back from some of these political individuals.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
You take that on yourself,
guys. And just so you know, I mean, and there's some members too that are getting the same thing now. Once you start up and coming, and which I was, I mean, we do thousands of claims, and all insurance related claims. I've gotten sued by the insurance company for a RICO Act, and we finally got that dismissed after 2.5 years, and I countersued the shit out of them. So not allowed to talk about it, but I'm happy.
Good.
Almost every week I get a complaint from some, and they're all insurance adjusters, from DBPR, from Department of Financial Services, and just last year, I don't know if I'm happy about this, but I got a bar complaint from the Florida Bar saying I was acting as an attorney without a license. All of this stuff has been dropped, and all of it is just to intimidate me. So literally I have one attorney firm now that answers all my complaints. I get them in, I just forward them to them, and they drop. What they're trying to do is, again, they're intimidating. And that's all they're trying to do. And so, and again, it's not easy being up there. I had one gentleman join our organization and do a speaking right when AOB was pretty hot in front of the legislature. Well, he was misquoted as either board member or president of RAF, and he lost all of his program work that he did have from the adjusters because the insurance companies went to all of their agencies and said, you're no longer allowed to recommend this company. And because of what they recommend. And it's such fucking bullshit. I mean, they will. You hear about blacklisting, or you hear about whichever. Happens. It does. But you have to keep your foot on the gas pedal. And that's what I told everybody. I didn't shy away from AOB. I do over 1,000 claims every single month on AOB. And I have not taken my foot off the gas pedal. And I won't. I mean, because I'm not doing anything wrong. Yeah. It's just that they don't like it because they have to pay the bill, because they have to do the right thing. I don't take bad claims. If it's a bad claim, we go away from it. If it's a good claim, we're all about it. We're for the homeowner, the consumer. There's no voice for the consumer, and there's no way you can stand in the shoes of the consumer without an AOB. I'm very pro AOB, and again, I'm going to be back, teaching people how to get back on the AOB, how to be a consumer protection person, and really take in all of the roles and responsibilities and getting that homeowner put back to square one and make money doing it.
Well, on behalf of the roofers and My Claims Care, my company, we appreciate the work that RAF and you personally are doing out there on behalf of roofing contractors, and I know my roofing contractors feel the exact same way. You got the Pensacola event going on next week. People need to visit the website. They need to donate. You need to donate so that these individuals can keep on fighting a fight that so many of us want to, but as business owners, we're running our business. So let the organization go out there and fight on your behalf, because that's how you're going to get changes in this industry that are in our favor. And that's how we get education for homeowners to know that, hey, we're not the bad guy here. We're trying to protect good contractors and good homeowners. And I appreciate, Richie, you coming out here to tell us a little bit about what RAF does, man. I really do.
Yeah, Thank you. Absolutely. And keep an eye out for House Bill 305. It's not all the way through. We did dramatically change it. None of that surface schedule language is in. The Speaker of the House said they're going to go with that language. We're going to keep our fingers crossed, and we're going to stay hopeful that the speaker is going to stay true to his word, and he's going to stick to the 305 language as something we can live with. I spoke to several roofers on this specific language that's out right now. We can live with it as long as we all know what we can and cannot do. Yes. So we'll just get rid of that language, a guarantee of free roof. Don't give policy coverage determination. Get rid of all your any paraphernalia, so to speak, any of those
flyers and pamphlets.
Yep, pamphlets, emails, any type of outward communication. Don't say free, don't say no deductible, those types of things. Use words and terms like deductible paid at the end.
Yes.
We work with all insurance companies. we'll work with your insurance company. We'll inspect your damage. We'll do all that kind of stuff, and you will be fine. It's like they told us after AOB. They said the good guys are not going to get harmed by this reform or law change, right? And they were right. I have not been affected at all in my business. If we all do it the right way, you will not be affected at all either. And again, just look out for our advertisements for RAF, because we're going to be putting on educational seminars every single month in every place of the state. Come to our events. It's no charge. You learn how to do it. You become a member, and we teach you. We give you the guideline. Here's how you do it. Here's how you're effective and be able to still work in your industry, still sign up the claims, and keep control of your claims as well too. That's what's really important.
Well, you guys are doing great work. We appreciate it. It's happy to have you in the Roofers Den. Want to get this out to as many roofers as we can. Keep on sending out the emails. I'll get them to my crew as we can. And, everyone that I possibly can get it to. And again, thank you for the work that you do, and thanks for coming out today.
Absolutely, no problem.
All right, thanks a lot, buddy. Appreciate it.